Hello and welcome to this week's segment of ABL's Top Plays. Starting us off at number 5, in White Lotus vs No Fear, Predemity teams up with his jungler to look for an engage on the White Lotus bot lane. However, some great kiting allows White Lotus to not only survive, but turn the 2v4 around.
Forward, throws out the Q. Here comes the Nocturne though, going in for the Paranoia, trying to do a little bit more damage. He does get rooted up, and there's the turnaround kill, the Arcane Barrage. Lokidosi is able to get this kill. The 2v2 is going extremely well at F-Road. Able to get another kill with the trap. Gonna go for some auto attacks. Mucho Gosu running away. Here comes Jock, gonna get a nice rocketed auto attack. There's the Sheep proc.
Next up at number 4, Dynasty Esports sees an opportunity to engage, and Dorhan jumps in with a 3-man Cataclysm. However, there is not enough DPS to follow up, and First Blood starts to turn things around. That is until Bishop and Rat join forces to kite back and turn the fight back in their favor.
As that's a great kill from Bishop to stop the ace in the hole. Mike gets taken down. Tibbs comes in. He finds the shutdown. What can they find onto Bishop? Because Rat is here. It's a 2v2 in the rivers. That's the Hextech ultimatum onto Bishop. Bishop, they find the outplay. They find the kill. DTS will be able to find more, but the True Shot Barrage will find the shutdown, and it's gonna be the ace.
And at number 3, First Blood are defending their turrets from Shelly when they find members of Polar Race caught out in the jungle. They collapse, but when Tibbs joins the fight, they realize they may have bit off a little more than they could chew, and Polar Race walks away with a 4-for-1.
Be able to pick up Purpose, but not before going down to Tibbs. In fact, Tibbs now launching forward. He's going to get rooted by Karma, but now Gaudier launches backward. The Polymorph comes through. Knock up, barely not going to miss as Mike is able to pick out Ozzy in his backline. You see Gaudier goes down for a double kill for Tibbs. Tibbs flashes forward to get the third Q on the top of Jax. Now we see a little bit of damage. Not quite. The burn comes through. Mike and everyone trying to chase forward. They go for the launch forward on Rampage with B-Tang there. B-Tang gonna be picking up the kill.
Coming in at number 2, Recon 5 are knocking at the door of Grim Legion space when Moody is able to find a well-placed Gragas ultimate onto Ikea. Sandillion doesn't miss a beat, jumping in on Yasuo and securing the Quadra kill, leading his team to victory.
Down, looking for some more PvPs coming out. It's coming through, coming in. Rudy's coming back. He's gonna find the barrel. Looking for Hands of Blood there. He's gonna go through the stopwatch. He's gonna get himself alive. Double killing for Sandillion. Sandillion's still alive. They can't stop this man. A Quadra kill. He's gonna find the ace. They're gonna find the end of this game, and that's gonna be exactly what Recon 5 was looking for.
And finally at number 1, First Blood have their backs against the wall and look to make a comeback play into Polar Aces Ozzy and Jack. However, they cannot keep up with the kite and are led straight into the waiting arms of Tibbs, who picks up a stylish pentakill.
Big heal, now looking to turn around. We do see Final Chapter come out as Mike is in this back line. Looking to see that's going to come out. Now Tibbs is in the battle. Going to be able to pick up a kill on Vladimir. He's in the middle of pressing guard. Flashes past and looks back on a rev off to get the double kill. Now goes deep onto Ozzy for the burn to burn through. Triple kill now as he turns to Gaudier for the Quadra. It's going to happen. Jack is going to go down for the pentakill on to Tibbs.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift.
All right, and welcome. Tonight, we have two great teams here. First Blood Marauders versus Team Fish Tacos. And let me tell you, there is a lot of playoff implications here tonight. First Blood Marauders playing for a chance at a bye. Team Fish Tacos looking to make their way into the top 6 teams that we'll be seeing here in playoffs. I am your play-by-play caster for the night, Z.
And I'm your color caster here, Kairos, and we are going to kick it off into a draft here in a minute. But as you were saying, I mean, this is a pretty weighty game for both teams. I mean, First Blood Marauders, as we get into picks here, they're at the top, kind of tied for second from what we have on the standings with Recon 5. So looking for that first round bye as the top 6 teams get in. And Team Fish Taco looking to just secure their spot, make sure that they are in the playoffs and they don't have an outside shot of falling out if Polar Ace or No Fear or Grim Legion make a run here on the tail end. So we're getting quick bans in here.
Yeah, looking like First Blood going to be picking off a bit of that top lane pressure in jungle. Riven Nidalee coming out, and Team Fish Taco is going to be pulling out that absolutely strong Aatrox currently right now.
Yeah, Aatrox, I mean, even with the, some people called him nerfs, some people called him buffs. A lot of it depends on playstyle, but Aatrox is quite the power pick at the moment. And First Blood Marauders right now banning the Riven and Nidalee, which are extreme comfort picks for Azuki in the top lane and Heimerdoodles in the jungle. And so Team Fish Taco will see if they're able to make that pay off. Riven and Nidalee, not necessarily meta, and so they might be able to get some powerful meta picks out of that since they are so proficient on those champions. And so that ban just came through. It is a Nico. So Aatrox and Nico, two seemingly top lane bans so far. So already three top champions off the board. So a lot of pressure being put on those top laners.
Ooh, that's a quick set of bans right there. With Khan coming out from First Blood, and what seems to be Kiana definitely want to stop DTS from pulling that one off, but they do slip through with the Yuumi pick.
Yeah, Yuumi, and I think Team Fish Taco will probably pick up something in the bot lane here in this first rotation that can potentially punish the Yuumi, and they could also look to take something very gank heavy, but they go with the Ezreal instead, so potentially just looking to survive or try and take a free lane and not eat too much poke. So not exactly what I would expect, but Ezreal, I mean, you just get the free lane phase, so we'll see what First Blood Marauders answers back with, as the Yuumi is just a super coveted pick at the moment.
Well, they don't finish out the bot lane just yet, but they are looking to put Mike on Olaf. Definitely a strong pick if you're going for that Predator engage. Can work really, really well. But pull back for a second real quick. Piero on the Ezreal. It's one of his more comforted picks in the bot lane, so definitely looking to really strengthen that lane up a bit on one of his best picks. But First Blood finishing off that first bot lane with Lucian and Yuumi.
And I do expect this Talia to get locked in. Heimerdoodles has played that quite a bit in solo queue. Still can be a really good niche pick. So they can kind of build the comp around that. And TFT really needs to start looking for, or that gives them the option to take more AD. So they have the Sylas and the Talia. So another AD laner will help even out that damage right there. Talia, one of the few AP junglers right now that can kind of work with most team comps. And so they're taking away the Akali, kind of leaning towards mid and top again. I guess Akali still a little bit flexible. And
I will say, DTS has shown incredible proficiency consistently in the mid lane. He's definitely one of the strongest carries on the side of First Blood, so it's no surprise to see a ton of bans out in that direction. Akali, Irelia, Kiana, really targeting that top mid kind of pressure with DTS as well as Tibbs. But other than that, Morgana and Pike going down, they're looking to pick off Team Fish Taco's support pool here.
And First Blood Marauders does a great job of keeping the flex options up or having both the mid and the top lane. So they're forcing TFT to put a lot of bans into the solo lanes, and they go ahead and pick up the Braum. So Braum, Ezreal, and we'll see Talia in the jungle, Sylas. Do you think that's headed towards top lane or mid lane? Because right now it's blind. Maybe they haven't decided yet.
Well, yeah, judging the fact that we have yet to see First Blood pick out that mid or top, I would be interested to see if they start flexing it, but I'm going to place my bets around 48, picking it up in the mid lane. I could be wrong,
but I would assume so. Other than that, though, First Blood going to be taking the Azir in what I assume is going to be the mid lane here.
Yeah, Azir's a solid pick just based on the scaling. I think it's something that they needed. They have the Olaf and the Lucian, which both popularly fall off, as we know, in the late game. So they round it out with the Azir and bring a lot of team fight prowess with the Gnar as well. And so that's looking pretty frightening if you start fighting in a choke or get caught out in the wrong position. Lots of team fight engage tools and opportunities for First Blood Marauders if they play it well.
Other than that, though, it looks like Team Fish going to be finishing it off with the Camille, which will be going into the top lane, I'm pretty sure now. And both these teams are looking, I would say, pretty serious in the objective they're looking to go for. First Blood, of course, has picked an amazing draft that scales not only through the early, but leads into the mid and late game impressively well. You've got early picks like Olaf and Lucian who come online very early, as well as the Yumi. And then you have sort of this lead in that team fight phase with stuff like Emperor's Divide or Gnar for that late game when you need to have the fights happen quick and fast.
The one thing that stands out to me with the First Blood Marauders, I mentioned the engage tools, but those are situational. So they aren't just like, oh, you can engage whenever you want to, whenever there's an opening. It really does depend on the Gnar going mega. That's a cooldown that they have to play around. Team Fish Taco can look to exploit that, playing around that cooldown. As the Azir also is somewhat situational, that he has to be probably not the primary engage, can really get burst down if he has to act as the engage. So if Olaf isn't ahead and isn't able to pressure the backline, they could potentially have trouble working around really small windows of opportunity. So we'll see if Team Fish Taco can recognize and exploit that kind of lack of engage. And then what do you see going for Team Fish Taco?
Team Fish definitely has quite the comp that can really work impressively well if you're looking to pick and pull. Camille and Silas have this ability to really get in there, as well as Talia. And Silas is something I want to look at more so this game, especially since you have such these hard engage tools from First Blood. They're not going to be as situational on someone like 48 in the mid lane. You can come in with Emperor's Divide on Azir. You can go sling yourself forward and then bring the team back, and then you can finish it off with the Talia's Burst, the Ezreal's Burst, or you can even throw in the Hextech Ultimatum from Camille to just pick out these targets consistently. So Team Fish Taco definitely has the tools for engage. They just, I would assume, aren't going to be able to hold out in a long-term fight. They don't want to let First Blood, as you said, get into those positions where they can turn it and go into what is required for them to start a team fight. So I would be more looking to see Team Fish Taco kind of take the engage and pull out someone they can pick off very quickly, maybe back off, or maybe capitalize on whatever is there to capitalize on, whether that be another kill or going for an objective.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the Silas adds kind of a level of complexity and a level that they can work with to steal away engage tools and to use them for themselves. And also the disengage tools. The Emperor's Divide can be used as a disengage. Also the Olaf ult can be stolen, the Yumi ult. There's a lot of diversity of what Silas can do if he's in a position to make an impact. And looking kind of at the side lanes, looking how the lane phase plays out for the Camille versus the Gnar, and then the split push potential of the Camille later on, do you think that Gnar will be able to answer that if they kind of go even? How do you see that top lane playing out? Because I think that could have a pretty big impact on the late game.
Well, there's definitely a sense of dueling positions here in that early game for who's going to have more of the strength as they go into mid game, because both of these picks are what I would say are really good team fighters. They can turn the flow of any team fight with their ultimates or just their engage tools as a whole. Gnar's a bit more situational. Camille has a bit more free range, but both can be just as devastating. So when it comes to it, I do believe Gnar will have a bit of that early advantage simply due to the fact that he's a range versus a melee. He can get in there, poke it a bit out, and take advantage of that. But Camille definitely, once she starts getting a lot of those abilities online, especially Hextech Ultimatum, can really turn the fight. It all, though, does have to do with how quickly Gnar goes mega, as you said earlier today. So I would say it's definitely up to the two individual players' skill. Azuki and Tibbs both are some of the best players on these teams as a whole. So I am curious to see how they'll play it out. It's kind of up in the air. It is a skill-based matchup if I had to come say it to a close.
Yeah, definitely be keeping an eye on that because the impact of the top laners and the split push potential, especially knowing how First Blood Marauders have a small window. If they miss that window, Camille can hard punish in the side lane and really take a lot of objectives if that window is missed. So we'll see how Team Fish Taco can play around that. I think I'm really excited. To see what these top laners have in store. And one thing that stands out to me that I kind of wanted to touch on in the jungle matchup is the Olaf taking the ghost over Flasher. That's his summoner. So really. Olaf can be an extremely unforgiving champion. So he doesn't have any terrain scaling, doesn't have any dashes, doesn't have anything like that. And so he takes the ghost as his mobility spell. What do you think about that going against this Talia, who kind of isn't as strong early and then takes off later into the game where Olaf wants to really punish early? How do you think that plays out with him taking such an aggressive summoner there?
Well, I would say Mike is definitely, as you said, trying to play this really aggressively. You have a comp where you can capitalize very early. Lucian and Yumi in that bot lane, especially, or even getting the Azir ahead in the mid so you can progress towards those objectives towards mid-late game. So I'm not surprised that he's taking the Ghost. It's actually probably more common, especially if he's running Predator. So he really just wants to get in there and capitalize on that small window of time that he is the priority jungler, like you said, before Talia finally scales up. But Heimerdoodle is no small feat on this Talia, so I wouldn't be surprised if she hits him real hard towards the mid to late game or even gets a few kills early if they're smart and you have something you really got to respond to.
And I agree. And it's a little bit tough to pick a winner just from draft. I think that both teams did pretty well in getting well-rounded team comps. That they have kind of their frontline option. They have their plenty of damage, and their damage is diversified between magic damage and physical damage. So both teams, I think, accomplished what they were set out to in champ select. They didn't get rattled at all. So it's a little bit tough to pick a winner, but I think that it will a lot of it will come down to how these junglers enable their lanes. If you're Mike, how you secure early leads and then transition to bigger power spikes in the mid game, or if you're Talia, how you kind of survive that early pressure and make sure that you get the Camille to the late game and that you get to the place where you have some pick potential later on.
Yeah, definitely something we'll have to look out for. But I will say, with such an impressive draft, this is such an important game to follow suit. Both of these teams looking for a position here in the ABL to carry them towards playoffs. So we'll be right back after this short spectator delay for a fiery game one. All right, welcome back. Getting in hot here of Game 1 of First Blood Marauders versus TFT. Before any of the action starts, though, I'd like to make a few quick announcements. Of course, you guys have the ability to donate, subscribe, follow here at the ABL, and we'd appreciate any amount of that because, as you know, all of that support goes straightly to our productions team, and we would madly appreciate any of that. But other than that, we do have bets going on for who you all think is the contest winner. Ooh, higher points will mean at the end of the season you'll be awarded with some money possibly for a skin. But I have to talk about Heimerdul getting engaged on here by Mike. A flash coming out early. Ooh, but now Azuki's landing straight on the Tibbs here. May have to see a flash for coming through with the Q. He's taken all the way down to 25% health. Woo! Big poke going out between these two teams. Can't even finish my announcements.
4 minutes in, we're already getting trades. Summoners are being exchanged, and Deep Vision is getting placed at the expense of long back timers. So I don't think it should impact lanes too much, but I don't think that Team Fish Taco was able to get the vision down that they were hoping for. So right now, First Blood Marauders gets the 2 pixel wards, and Mike is going to start on his Raptors. So he might be looking just for straight off clearing his full bot side, getting level 3, and then looking to gank early on the Ezreal and the Braum, maybe before Ezreal gets the Arcane Shift up. They could potentially burn a Summoner there. But very favorable trade for him. We talked about the mobility disadvantage that he might have going against the Talia, how that might threaten him, but then boom, I mean, he just walks in, he knows his damage, and he takes away the flash and equalizes that, and his ghost will be up before her flashes. So he might be able to capitalize that and posture even further forward around the lanes that have priority.
Other than that, everything's going to be playing out just a little bit slowly here, maybe. Before any of that happens, I'd like to finish my announcement about the bets real quick. All you'll have to do in chat is, of course, type !bet, team name, the amount of points you'd like to bet. We got First Blood Marauders, FBM, and then we've got Team Fish Tacos, TFT. Other than that, we can look at this game now without a bit.
Yeah, we can talk about the game, and this is interesting. Mike is taking back. We have some trades mid, though.
Ooh, yeah, good knockup from 48 Chromosomes, chasing DTS down. He's not going to be able to fully capitalize, especially since Azir can turn with that poke. Beautiful.
Yeah, and Azir's just answering right back, and interesting pathing right here. We see Olaf, he did clear the full bottom.
Ooh, good engage from 48 Chromosomes to go in deep, but he can't finish it, and Azir turns it around and gets that poke again.
Now he might be looking top lane. Heimerdoodles is baiting here.
Oh, Tibbs. Oh, he just barely gets caught up by the knockback from Heimerdoodle. The auto attacks are coming in. He has to flash forward, does get stunned by Azuki, and that's gonna be a first blood for Heimerdoodle.
And the First Blood Marauders not living up to their name yet. Olaf is walking up here to potentially do something.
Oh, and a teleport from Gnar. He throws the axe down. Heimer's gonna knock him back, but Azuki's getting caught out a little bit. Goes against the wall, tries to get the stun on Mike, but it's not gonna be enough. Mike is picking up that return quill. So
hold on, 48.
Oh, 48 now coming in, trying to chase down Mike. He knows he's low. Heimer putting in the damage. He's able to pick it up, but not before Tibbs finishes off. You see the knockback, though? That's the double kill for Heimer.
Yeah, he is popping off. I think the seismic shove to knock Gnar out of his jump was incredible. I don't know if that was on purpose. Knowing Heimerdoodles, it probably was. Really, really strong jungler. So we're hopping over to the replay, and here they're chasing down the Camille, and she jumps back on, kind of commits for the death. Not sure if she could have gotten out. And then Talia is trapped under the turret, but decides to go back in to back up 48. Just really good positioning by Heimerdoodles to stay out of range to make sure that he could still put down the damage to secure that double kill.
Yeah, good on Heimerdoodle coming out here extremely strong. Mike is a little bit behind in terms of that. A 3-0 Talia will do some impressive damage, and the gank potential in this mid game, even before Weaver's Wall comes up, will be something that First Blood has to respond to. Very impressive show of play from a team that would not be expected to be this ahead this early.
And the flash is not getting punished. We have to trade up top.
Good
here.
Stun onto Tibbs. Ooh, he bounces back, going for the poke. Not quite anything to come out of it, but they're both at half health. The dueling, like I said, going to be something we watch out for this game.
I mean, neither team is shy at the moment. They're taking very aggressive trades. They're just going all in for these opportunities. So very quick to pull the trigger, which I think is exactly what First Blood Marauders wanted to do. But up there in the top lane, this guy's just got turned around, and Heimerdoodles could potentially push for some big power spikes early on. And a fed Talia is not something you want to see with the pick potential, the 100-0 potential once she gets a few items. You want that to come as late as possible, but here already with 3 kills.
Azuki getting that poke. Like I said, range versus melee. Nar may have this early game a bit, but Azuki's playing it out the best he can. He's got the corrupting potion, trying to stave it out.
I think that we could potentially see, with all the pressure in the bot lane, that Mike might just go ahead and opt for this early Drake, especially if Heimerdoodles does show up here. They might handshake that trade and go ahead and just take the early objective using the pressure that they have.
He doesn't look like he's going for it directly. Trying to see if he can find something in the bot lane. The slow comes through from Yumi. Amsterdam gets healed, but the stun comes through on Lucian. No one's going to be picking up anything. Ooh, B-Tang just barely trying to put some damage out, but there is no appropriate follow-up.
And now Mike is on the scuttle. He's spotted out his bot lane.
Ooh, flash forward from purpose under turret. He's not able to finish off Piero, but they're both taken so low.
And now Heimerdoodles is back here. If they keep on pushing, they're going to be in a world of hurt.
Ooh, Heimerdoodle coming over the wall, laying some damage into Mike. He's going so heavy. Now Mike's turning around, trying to lifesteal us out, but not before he gets poked down. We've got a bit of a teleport coming in. Yumi, oh, top lane. Wait a second. Hextech ultimatum and Gnar ulted. Who's going to take it? Azuki.
Yeah, and there was a fight around the bot lane.
There was a fight around the bot lane.
Yumi right in front of that Drake. Yeah, Yumi picks up the kill there, but Heimerdoodles does get shut down eventually as Azuki gets to crash this wave in top and is going to walk away with what is right now a 12 CS lead. Tibbs might not be able to equalize or get any of this wave in top. And Heimerdoodles is shut down, but completes the Stalkers, or the Runic Echoes, excuse me, pretty early on here. Already has the boots, and Mike is trailing a little bit behind, just relative to the power spike of Heimerdoodles.
Heimerdoodle with the Dark Seal. I'd be impressed to see the Medjais come out, you know. Definitely a possibility, but other than that, definitely seems like TFT has the game in their own hold right now. Something First Blood does not want to deal with, especially with some of these early picks on Mike and Purpose. Curious to see how they're going to come back into this in the mid game, possibly through the Azir or a good gank by Tibbs and Mike.
And if the Azir is shut down, I think it will be extremely difficult for First Blood to make that transition. Just when all of your carries for TFT are so far ahead, if Azir isn't able to kind of make a play, get some kills on him to generate some gold, then it's going to be a really long game. They're going to have to scale even further.
Azuki getting stunned by the Gnarl, but nothing to follow through. Actually, turn your attention to bot lane. Mike coming in here. Now the culling and final chapter. They're trying to pull something out here. A root comes through, but Heimerdoodle is there. Not before B-Tang takes out Piero. Now the stuns are trying to come through, but he's unstoppable. Mike takes out Amsterdam as a result.
Yeah, and there we see exactly why Yumi is such a power pick. Hold on, fighting top though.
Azuki gets an almost perfect stun. Tibbs has to flash out.
And 48's rotating down. I think they're going to contest this bottom turret, but First Blood Marauders does back up, it looks like.
Not quite. 48 does not want to give up too much CS to that Azir. You definitely don't want to leave him alone in the lane for too long. Ooh, Heimerdoodle. Taken real low. Mike's sitting there.
So right now, Yumi, I think she might be stacking that Dark Seal, looking for a Magi's at this point. 2-0 and 1. But all joking aside, they're showing exact. Hold on, top.
Oh, look at that. Tibbs just barely trying to get through. The slow from Mizuki doing as much work as possible, but he's so aggressive. Ooh. Everything's going on around the map right now. Impressive trades top, but Mike's on the side there. Ooh. Amsterdam taken so low.
Yeah, there's just not a moment to breathe for us or for the players. They're being dragged all the way around the map. And so if I have a second to collect my thoughts, Tang is just showing so much, or Aang, excuse me, is showing so much of why that Yuumi is a prioritized pick. Just able to heal so much. They were able to get that dive off, and Olaf picks up a kill, as now he looks to pick up that Mountain Drake we mentioned earlier with his bot lane pushed all the way into turret. This should be relatively free. We'll see if Heimerdoodles can respond with anything in the top lane, but he's sitting on a ward, so this is likely just going to be free Drake for First Blood Marauders as they take a 500 gold lead here, and they rebound a little bit from that rocky early game.
Yeah, curious to see how the objective game is going to play out. Heimer's given up quite a bit, and if you've watched some of the previous games of TFT, they do opt to give, but that's not what's going to happen here. His final chapter and the calling come through. A good route. There's a dodge from the backline. Mike is sitting there trying to come through. Ooh, Amsterdam's taken low, but not before teleport comes in from our boy 48 Chromosomes, just trying to protect this lane as best as he can. Ooh, launch straight on the Mike. The unstoppable is not going to be enough. Chromosomes just rips through him.
He was deleted. That was kind of just miscalculation from Mike there.
Ooh,
but
speaking of deleted, good Emperor's Divide from 48 Chromosomes under the tower. It's doing damage. He tries to push him back with the same medicine, but Chromosomes is chasing. Ooh, a bit of damage with the burst there. DTS is slowed so hard. Ooh, a miss, but it's not gonna be enough. The dash comes forward and 48 finishes the job.
And so Mike was looking to punish Heimerdoodles for being in the top side so long, but instead ends up trading over his own life and gets his own top side taken away as Suzuki and Heimerdoodles pressure this blue buff. And that was kind of just from 48 Chromosomes roaming over before the Azir could and supporting his jungler on the opposite side of the map, defending his camps. So really good awareness by 48 Chromosomes to collapse on that play, allowing with a jungler off the map and seeing where Azir was, that Heimerdoodles and Azuki could just knock down that top turret, get a lot of gold in there, and Heimerdoodles is up, you know, still up in CS despite spending so much time in that top lane. And here Mike and Tibbs are looking to take down the Rift Herald, likely to drop it before the turret platings are gone. Is going to be my guess.
One thing I will have to say about that previous exchange was definitely the play around the summoner spell. 48 Chromosomes had teleport up and he knew DTS wasn't going to have it for another 2 to 3 minutes, so he had perfect time to go in and know that DTS wasn't going to be able to respond in the adequate amount of time. So impressive movement around the map as a whole, definitely. Ooh.
Yeah, he did a great job preventing that dive in the bot side, was still able to rotate back up to mid without losing too much. And now we'll see if they play around.
Good rotate from Azuki. Not going to be able to get in there, but still impressive to see. Oh, Heimerdoodles now coming around the back. Ooh, 48 Chromosomes going to launch forward, take him down to half health. Oh, but the poke respond is so strong. Heimer not in the right spot to capitalize, but very close.
These junglers, I mean, the roams are kind of going crazy around here. Mike looks like he might drop the Herald down here to get this these last 2 turrets, and he is summoning it right now. But mid lane's being pressured.
Yeah, mid lane definitely going to be going down. Mike making his way up, trying to be able to come and respond, but not before bot lane goes down from the Rift Herald.
Yeah, so it's kind of a handshake trade, but they do see Mike coming over, so they make sure that they keep up that mid turret.
They definitely see Mike. Ooh, good trades on top side. Hecate ultimatum. Tibbs trying to tell it out. He gets the kill, but not before Purpose and Final Chapter come through with Mike with an axe to the backline. Heimerdoodle now going to go down with Emperor's Divide, but Mike picking up a double on the response there.
Yeah, and Fiero and Amsterdam have to decide either to stop the Rift Herald pushing bottom or to defend the mid lane turret. And so I think they might be giving up mid off that play, just because turret plating has fallen, and so these turrets are very vulnerable now. And 48 Chromosomes is now going to be farming from much closer to his base than he would like. That's actually a really big win for Azir to keep the outer turret up, so he can still CS with that safety and still come pretty far out onto the map and be able to rotate better and maintain vision than Team Fish Taco is going to be able to from the mid lane.
Other than that, though, we haven't forgotten that DTS does have the passive up at any time. He can push 48 chromosomes even further back, need be. He can place that turret up in the mid lane right there.
Yeah, soon they're going to be on their own Nexus. Just Azir towers everywhere. It's going to be a pretty dire situation. And Tibbs just walking back up top. He decided to leave that turret up so that a lot of this CS would be denied as it's pushing back into him. So pretty heads-up play there. He doesn't need the turret yet, decides to just deny CS and set up a lane that Team Fish Taco can't do anything about.
All of Team Fish Taco setting up the priority around this dragon very, very early, not looking to give up any more objectives. Ooh, launching straight on the mic here, trying to get the stun, but the Ragnarok comes through. He's making the escape.
Tibbs has the teleport. We'll see if he joins this fight and they can test, or if with Ragnarok down, they just decide to oh, he's TPing in.
Oh, he's TPing in. Tibbs coming into the backside. They take the dragon down. How is First Blood going to respond here? Azuki going in hard for the stun, but Final Chapter doing so much to root. He goes down as a result. Now we see everyone turning a 3-man stun from Tibbs and a ton of damage coming out as First Blood picks up a full team wipeout.
And the Marauders is that they can't take the Baron yet because it's only 16 minutes. So going into the replay here, we know that Tibbs has the TP available, and they have this excellent deep ward set up beforehand that hasn't expired yet. So he comes in with almost perfect fury. Camille goes in, but it's kind of very disjointed as the Silas is left on his own. Then the Gnar just buys his time, gets Mega, and then slams 3 members into the wall and just lets everybody follow up. They ended up trading. I think that was 1 for 5 in that fight. So just excellent map awareness, and that was a great ward for Tibbs to go onto. So he played that fight very well. And when we talked in the early game about the windows that they had to work around, that was exactly one of the windows that they had. The Gnar was Mega, they had the teleport, they had the ward, everything was just clicking for First Blood Marauders, and you can't blame Team Fish Taco for taking that. I mean, they set up some vision around, but they have to be aware of that TP timer and knowing that Gnar, when he's flanking and is almost Mega, can be a pretty big threat to your team and can make you die very quickly, and that's exactly what happened.
Look at the vision control from First Blood right now. I know we just talked about it a little bit, but just look at how deep some of those wards are in the backside. They have complete understanding about TFT's jungle right now, and like you said, that was kind of one of the big issues with Tibbs coming in there. TFT did not have full control entirely, and as a result, they got collapsed on so quickly. Ooh, the culling coming through 48 chromosomes, but it's not landing.
And what allows First Blood Marauders to push this in so quickly is they try to defend, but they're going to give up that outer mid. It kind of lived its life. It did good work for them. But part of them taking out that first turret earlier on, when 48 and Heimerdoodles weren't able to take that turret, that just is vision that they can push further and further. Heimerdoodles trading back, but here's a rotation.
Not quite. Oh, Azuki coming, seeing the mic in the bush here. Now we have Heimerdoodle coming up for the chase as well as Campster, but not before the teleport is coming through from DTS. Oh, good Emperor's Divide to push him back, but not before the calling in Final Chapter. Purpose taking a kill on Azuki here. Now he's looking for the follow-up. The slow comes through on 48 chromosomes. He's looking to dash forward, try to put the damage down. Campster, he is to flash out to get away. Oh, Piero's taken extremely low. The team's waiting for this minion wave to push in. Piero, the dash comes forward, but Amsterdam saving him with Unbreakable now. 48 trying to get the dash forward, but he's not quite in range. The minion wave is now under turret. We see Ghost coming through from Mike. The dash forward, Hyperjump was going to go down from the axe, but not before Purpose picks up a kill in the backline. He goes down as a result. Now 48, Piero and Amsterdam collapsing on B-Tang. Oh, but this bot lane, the inhib going down. First Blood Marauders taking advantage of such good pressure play.
And they did all of that in the top lane with just 3 members, while the Azir and the Gnar just kept on knocking bots. So really, really great siege, and Baron isn't even up yet, and so they will not be punished for that in the top lane, and they're still able to get a lot of work done. And so right now, they're using their power spikes, the Lucian power spike particularly in the Olaf of their strength in the mid game to accomplish a lot, to get these inhibitors down so that they kind of have smooth sailing to when the Azir pops off. Now sitting on one full item, he got the Nashers, and then he is really close to a second full item. So this Azir will get scary very quickly in these team fights. But for the time being, Olaf and Lucian are just doing work with the Yuumi heals. Just so difficult to deal with and so hard to kill through. And there's no grievous wounds anywhere on Team Fish Taco, so they're opting just for straight damage over the healing reduction. Amsterdam.
Amsterdam not gonna get hit by the slow. Tibbs just barely missing the Q. But the Baron is definitely in their favor. The vision control completely on their side. It looks like they're gonna be taking this blast cone, making sure that TFT can't make the contestant. Oh, they're gonna try.
TP. We'll see if they use it. Nope.
True Shot Barrage comes in, but it does not deal. That's a full 5-team Baron right there.
Yeah, they're getting it on everybody. They just used the vision that they had established from earlier. That Team Fish Taco just wasn't in a position to contest. They didn't have any wards that would have been good for a TP flank. They just were not ready for that Baron to go down. And so First Blood, Marauders just really recognizing that window and taking it. So they're playing extremely well around objectives.
Oh, definitely. We gotta have a look at all this minion pressure now. Now it just makes its way towards the base here. Curious to see if TFT is going to be able to pin it out before it crushes so much.
And they do have the split push going on for Tibbs. He will have teleport available soon. Right now he has a wave coming in.
True Shot Barrage. They're clearing this out. Gosh.
And they have a decent amount of wave clear from Heimerdoodles and 48 chromosomes, but Ezreal not known for his wave clear, and also the Camille has a lot of trouble dealing with that as a melee champion. So I think that First Blood Marauders can just keep banging these in.
Wait a second. There's a TP coming in this backside. Good knockup from Amsterdam for a finish to come through from 48 chromosomes. The damage is there. Emperor's Divide over the wall, but it's not going to be enough. A full almost team wipeout as 4 members of First Blood Marauders go down.
And I mean, that fight broke out almost the second the Tibbs teleport came up. He was helpless. He could not join them. Man. He had to walk down. So perfectly timed fight from Team Fish Taco. Oh. They're going to at least get this inner mid here. Maybe they'll rotate over for the Drake to deny that. And yeah, they're actually just going to opt
to
for
give
the Drake.
Up the mid. Going for the Drake. Yeah, looking like Tibbs trying to defend this the best he can. If TFT keeps playing it like this, First Blood may not have the game completely in their side.
This is just the game of teleport flanks. Both teams playing so well around that, and they still have 48 chromosomes. He still has his teleport available, so maybe he's going to be the next one. Tibbs also has his out. Maybe they'll both flank each other. Who knows what's going to happen? But the teleport plays have been incredibly impactful, and they've been they've either had incredible luck or they have had these timers down to the second. That they know when those TPs are coming up, and they've just been playing around the other team's inability to answer. With Tibbs not able to join that fight because his TP had just come up, or it wasn't quite up yet. But that being said, it is not over for Team Fish Taco. There's only one inhibitor down. They can easily wave clear that. The Baron buff is now gone for everybody. Tibbs is the last one who has it. That will be expiring here pretty soon. And it's kind of they got a reset out of that fight. So they bought a little bit of time. They're getting some scaling, and we'll see what they do with the extra few minutes that they bought, if they can convert that into anything more significant.
I will say that Baron buff did not play such a huge role that First Blood thought it was going to. You knew they wanted to come in and potentially finish off the game right there, and they were too quick to pull the trigger. As a result, we definitely see the response TFT can pull off. Tibbs Baron buff finally running out right about now.
And we get the 2 items on his Azir, so he still has plenty to scale. But when you look at the Lucian and the Olaf, the longer the time goes on as we pass 30 minutes and we get later into the game, they just won't be benefiting their teams as much. as kind of we press that point.
Azir. Good Emperor's Divide, but Heimer doodles in the backline with Hextech Ultimatum coming through. Heimer picking up the kill so quickly.
And that's exactly what Team Fish Taco wants to do with this comp. If somebody's alone, you find them, you lock them down, and you kill them. So they get that pick, and those cooldowns are not too bad. So they will have those back up in less than a minute and a half, and they can just rinse and repeat and kind of keep building momentum like this until the objectives are up and they can respond.
Oh man, look at First Blood Marauders trying to pick off the red buff just like 48. I mean, DTS was looking to take that blue, but they're not gonna allow it. TFT quick to respond right now. Oh!
That's the
I should hold my tongue.
That's a caster curse if I've ever seen one. But Team Fish Taco is able to start defending their jungle. So they're able to start contesting vision. They're able to walk out in a group, and they're able to do something about it. So it's not First Blood Marauders getting to walk in, put vision wherever they want. Now it's being answered. So that's the first step for Team Fish Taco getting back into this, making sure that if the Baron goes down, they have a teleport ward, that they have vision around it, that they know it's happening. That's the first step, and so they're starting to respect First Blood Marauders more, and they're starting to take steps towards success in the next team fight that comes up, which will very likely decide the outcome of the game, as this Baron is spawning in less than a minute.
And this time, TFT's playing it a little bit differently. They're already setting up vision, trying to make a play around this, making sure that they don't give it up as easily as before, because it was quite simply given. Ooh, calling coming through on Amsterdam. He's taken incredibly low, but not before he gets rooted from Final Chapter. DTS picks up the kill as a result. True Shot Barrage used as a response, but it's not going to pick up that much. Ooh, the teams are rotating. Azuki making his way down. Mike as well. They turn it. They're trying to duel it out. The teams are rotating up. Azuki's going to be taken low, but Ragnarok is coming through, burning. Hextech ultimating paired with Piero, but not before Purpose picks up the kill as a response. First Blood Marauders still on top. We do have Tibbs pushing out that bot lane. This Baron still up in the air. They can't make a full team engage just yet.
And First Blood Marauders could look to three-man the Baron right here. If they overcommit for Tibbs, they could just rush the Baron. But instead, they're just going to pressure and escort this wave into mid.
Big chunk of damage onto Purpose there. Yumi, of course, heals it up quickly, but still can't let those come through. Piero not going to hit that True Shot Barrage, but TFT makes an incredibly consistent defense against this minion wave. Oh, possibly looking for that Baron.
With the Baron being up, there's a great ward right there in the Drake pit. So if either side commits to it.
Ooh, Chromosomes just barely misses the dash forward. You could tell he wanted to commit there. Heimerjewel trying to pick someone off as well. TFT looking for the pick so quickly. Not quite. Mike coming in hot now, trying to get a kill. Ragnarok is coming through deep in this backline. Heimerjewel taking so long, but Piero is able to snipe him out as a result. Oh, Azuki in this backline gonna get caught. He goes for the stun on purpose, trying to burn through the damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Tim picking on the kill for a triple stun in the backline over the wall. That's a quadra kill on Tibbs.
That was an incredible play by Tibbs, and again, just real mastery of the champion, knowing exactly how much he needed to go Omega, and just goes at the perfect time. And Team Fish Taco is caught flat-footed against the wall. He jumps in, slams three of them, gets the quadra kill, and I think this could be the game.
So low. This definitely could be the game. DTS going hard in the backline. Emperor's Divide to finish him off. Everyone is down on the side of TFT. The Nexus is burning. Tick, 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 and it definitely looks like game one goes to First Blood Marauders.
That final fight was just an incredible engage by Tibbs. It looked even. It started out with Talia surviving the Olaf engage, winning the 1v1. The team comes, backs her up, but then the Camille jumps in. They try to go for a re-engage, and it just gets completely turned on its head. First Blood Marauders turns that fight around in a really close enclosed area where Gnar just thrives, and they're able to completely burst. There's no counterplay, no response time. It was just Tibbs followed by DTS putting down the slam, womboing that down, and sending Team Fish Taco back to the drawing board for game 2, down 0-1. So First Blood Marauders looking great in game 1, and it's up to Team Fish Taco now if they want to secure that playoff spot or work towards it. They're really going to have to come back with something new in game 2.
Well said. We'll have to see if game 2 will be the response TFT is looking for. But with that, we'll be taking a short break. So stay tuned as we come into the interesting game 2. All right, and we are back. Gonna get into game 2 here shortly. Before we get into that pick and ban phase, I gotta say, First Blood Marauders turning that game around so quickly. I wouldn't even call it a comeback. For just a second, TFT was ahead. A lot of pressure from Heimer doing the jungle, but then First Blood came back and capitalized almost instantly, going for an impressive game 1 with a lot of pressure and damage coming from those TP plays from Tibbs.
Yeah, it seemed like something just clicked for them when it came to team fighting and it came to objective control. First Blood Marauders just turned something on that said, we win the game now. They just had great vision control. They were just had excellent awareness around the objectives. But first game, what are you looking at for adjustments from Team Fish Taco? Game's going quick here.
I will tell you, I already see one adjustment. TFT picking out the Nico. The ban for it does not come through this time. So curious where they're going to be putting that. I know we talked a lot about it being in the top lane previously before, but I'm interested to see maybe whether that flexes mid onto 48 chromosomes, but it could go on Azuki. No idea, but maybe that's going to be a bit of a game changer here. It was banned from First Blood last time, so maybe that's a bit of a strength for TFT. We'll have to wait and see. But other than that, Aatrox, Yuumi, Kiana, Riven, Nidalee, Silas, all picked out. And the bot lane couple from First Blood as well.
Yeah, the Zyra Khan. And so I think that Nico is just a very safe pick. Also a very cancer pick. Very difficult to go into. Can be really annoying. And then with the bot lane showing from First Blood, then instantly that's answered from TFT, and so I expect First Blood Marauders to go ahead and pick a jungler here. There's only been the one jungle ban, and so they kind of have the world to work with, and they could potentially look to abuse the Kai'Sa Nautilus early on, as there's a Lee Sin hover. And it's locked.
Your prediction was correct. The Lee Sin hover straight in. Like you said, they're looking to abuse it a bit early, so they pick a jungler that can be capitalized so quickly in the early game.
Yeah, and then they knock out the Taliyah. So Taliyah and Nidalee are just the two by far the most comfortable picks for Heimerdoodles, and so now they're going away from that, forcing him onto something new. And TFT,
I will say
they knocked off the Gnar here early on.
Yeah, Gnar coming out there. If I don't see this ban as a Kindred, I would be most likely sure that Heimer will be running into the Kindred here, probably on TFT. Making my prediction now.
All right, predicting the Kindred.
Predicting the Kindred.
I don't know. I think that they could definitely use a little bit of beefiness, but Heimerdoodles is honestly a carry player, so you could be very right. It just really depends on if they want to put in something that can answer the Lee Sin or something with a little bit more scaling. I think Jarvan is one of the most just a really great staple that he can go either way. So if he does get ahead early, you can go a little bit more the damage route. So diverse build paths, and can still keep up with Lee Sin and ganking potential, and also gives another engage option on top of the Nautilus that you can just pick somebody. Xayah can't get out of the Jarvan ultimate, and so that could be potentially a good pick, as Corki is locked in blind here in the mid lane.
Possible Azir pick from 48 chromosomes. That's definitely out on the table, as well as that Kindred. I don't know why I'm playing Prophet here, but other than that, we do see a lot of the bans coming through to focus on DTS, but he slides through with the Corki there in the end. Definitely a strong pick right now, especially since the farming is so popular. Ooh, possible Vladimir here in the mid lane. Yeah, that's going to be locked in. Looking like 48's going to flex here, possibly on the Vladimir, possibly on the Nico. I would assume probably on the Nico, though.
Yeah, this is just a full dive comp almost. I mean, the Nico, Kai'Sa, Nautilus, Vladimir, they all just want to jump on your backline and kill everything. So they are not going front to back, and Jarvan fits very well with that composition. I think Heimerdoodles might have been listening to us.
Never mind. He saw both our predictions. He went with the Hecarim instead.
He wanted to make sure that we were wrong, but Hecarim, dive champ, just like that. They are going full speed ahead. And
Speaking of full speed ahead, yeah, First Blood Marauders going in heavy with the Kled. That ultimate going to be adding quite the speed that we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have there's not really front lines. It's just let's go kill them before they kill us.
Have you heard of Nautilus?
Oh, no, it's a support. They're all frontliners.
All supporters are frontliners. What are you talking about? Put a ruby crystal on it. It makes a tank. Other than that, though, like you said, it is really aggressive play from both these teams. We're probably going to see something similar to Game 1, where both teams really went hard for the kills consistently, with the action constantly making its way around the map consistently.
And it's really tough to pick what lanes are going to have the action early on. I mean, it's not really clear cut. The Lee Sin can visit just about any lane. The Vladimir a little bit safer, and Nico can be safe, but he has kill pressure kind of with his lane partners. The Rakan assisting in the engage, the Kled also assisting in the engage. I think that mid lane is likely going to be more of an island, a little bit more difficult to gank for both sides. It might just be kind of that pillow fight, the Vlad, Corki, just trading back and forth until somebody wants to all in, but they definitely need to agree on the fight, because either of them can kind of just Vlad can pool or Corki can Valkyrie away, and so that's not likely to be too much action. But everywhere else, it's the Wild West out there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's the Wild West. Everyone's out there, guns a-blazing, just waiting for the clock to tick down. But starting to look at these particular matchups, Nico versus Kled definitely confirmed for Never mind. It looks
Just
like
kidding.
they're flexing Corki to the top lane against Nico, apparently. Huh.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some statistics on Corki top lane. Pull that out and see what I think I've seen Kled mid more than I've seen Corki top, in all fairness. I've also seen a Kled jungle before, so that's a little bit out there, but they decided that this is the game to pull it out. So the Kled Vlad interaction, if Kled lands the Q, Vladimir cannot pull out of it. So if he pulls, he will still be pulled back. And Kled into Vladimir is actually really good now. So the Kled Q actually applies grievous wounds for, I believe it's 4 seconds at 60% healing reduction. And so if Kled lands that Q, he has a ton of all-in potential on the Vladimir. Vlad can't heal up, is just going to kind of be a sitting duck if he misuses his Sanguine pool. So that's the little SparkNotes version of the Kled Vlad matchup.
I will say, though, to follow up with that, maybe putting Kled in the mid lane has a bit of an advantage, giving him that extra XP early, possibly making use of that ultimate so quickly in the game, maybe making sure that he can make the effort to go both top and bot without Vladimir 48 Chromosomes being able to know which one he's responding to if he plays the vision game appropriately.
Did we just talk ourselves into thinking that this Kled was like a Smurf pick into the Vlad? Did we? Or
yeah, 48 Chromosome's going to come out real hard now. Vladimir has no problem taking on a Kled. But moving away from that, looking at the top lane now, like you said, we don't have much statistics on Corki top, but I will say it's probably going to play out similar to the mid lane of a Nico versus Corki, just a little bit slower on that XP game and the item hits. But still curious to see how they're going to play through that, especially since the response time for both these is going to be correlated not only to their teleports, but some of their engage tools, especially Corki with the package.
And I've heard just a lot of, I haven't seen First Blood Marauders play yet, but I've heard a lot of talk about how solid of a jungler Mike is. And so getting to see him on such a skill expressive champion like Lee Sin is just going to be a real treat. This is where we're going to get to see where the rubber meets the road between Heimerdoodles on the Hecarim, Lee Sin for Mike. And I think that the junglers, they just have a lot going on. Of course, I'm a jungle main. I am biased, and so I'm not always right, but I am always looking at the jungle matchup to see how that shakes out.
I will say both of these junglers can run train and go miles away if they get just a little bit of pressure early. Of course, we're looking to see how they influence these lanes as a whole, but like you said, Heimerdoodles and Mike are both incredibly skilled players, and they have such a great carry potential. And both Hecarim and Lee Sin have the potential to come out incredibly strong. So I am curious to see how the duel between the junglers is going to go, as we were just discussing. But Karios, give me a little bit of the rundown here in the bot lane.
So in the bot lane, the Xayah is obviously the target pre-6, so it's a little bit vulnerable for her, really relying on the Rakan to keep her safe, as any support does, but even more so in this matchup with the amount of kill pressure from Nautilus. If he hits the hook on Xayah, there's not much that Rakan can do to keep the Kai'Sa from getting full plasma stacks and just putting down huge damage on Xayah. So the all-in potential from the Nautilus Kai'Sa duo is really scary pre-6 for Xayah Rakan. But if they can weather that storm, then they have a lot of options. That obviously the Nautilus ultimate is countered by the Xayah ultimate. And that's where they can be a little bit more comfortable is once they get to 6 and then in those skirmishes and then in those team fights. So for Team Fish Taco, they're likely looking to capitalize on this bot lane early on. And Hecarim taking the Ignite, which is pretty common. I would expect to give some attention to the bot lane to try and get them snowballing a little bit early on before Xayah is safe.
Yeah, definitely something we'll have to watch out for. Kai'Sa definitely plays into that so well early with the Nautilus pick. But I will say you can't sleep on her come late game. If you get the item stacks going the right direction, you don't have to focus purpose if you don't want to. I know that's a crazy concept as a whole, but taking out a lot of these stronger picks, Corki from Tibbs can be absolutely oppressive. And DTS has shown time and time again that when it comes to mid lane, you can't let him go full out. So I would be curious to see if Piero makes some plays here, not only on purpose, but as we get to the mid to late game, possibly we'll see a bit more of a growth in that sector.
And one interesting thing, if Heimerdoodle's another way that he could kind of play around this is to potentially shut down the Corki early on, as Nico is a pretty oppressive laner. If she gets a little bit ahead, then she can really push in, make sure the Corki isn't hitting power spikes early on with that really expensive Triforce. Then they could potentially just stack armor for the other 3 lanes and really have a lot of security before the Corki comes online with the magic damage later.
Yeah, definitely something we'll be having to watch out for here in this interesting analysis of so many potential victory routes for both of these teams. But it could be going any way here. The playoff implications are hot, and we'll have to see how it plays out into Game 2 of Team Fish Tacos versus First Blood Marauders. But with that, we'll be back after a short spectator. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Getting into game 2 here of Team Fish Tacos versus First Blood Marauders. And let me tell you, this could be it. First Blood Marauders could bury the grave and pat it down, and that would be it for Team Fish Tacos. And the playoff implication could be out right here, right now. Or, on the other hand, the game 3 potential is still up in the air. Team Fish Tacos do have that ability. Look at the 5-man engage possible from here on First Blood. I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely spotted out.
And Piero kind of just walking around. They're going to trade vision. So he drops that, but then Heimerdoodle is able to walk up and take us back there and put a ward. That's actually a really, really good ward spot. Good ward timing as well. He can back at the sweeper if he so desires. Yep, there he goes. And so they're just trading vision on either side. We'll see how the junglers can capitalize on this as they path. They might be able to force Hecarim off of the red buff start because they don't have enough information to approach it. So yeah, this could be advantageous depending on how they use the information. It'll be really interesting to see how they path around this vision, because Heimerdoodles, they get that deep ward on top side, but they're just going to go ahead and take this red buff.
They're taking the red buff in. Yeah, Tibbs making his way there. Yeah, he's going to ward it. Heimer definitely in a bad position right now. A lot of the map is out of his control very, very early, and that's something you do not want to see, especially we were discussing a lot of the early pressure you can gain out of some of these lanes, such as Piero and Amsterdam in the bot lane. So good on First Blood to capitalize so quickly on that.
And there's a great ward from Tibbs on the red buff. That Lee Sin can just take the full bottom side, and if Heimerdoodles gets anything less than the full top side, he'll be at a disadvantage. And mid, there's some pull.
Yeah, level 2. DTS comes through with the level 2 very early. Chromosome's taken so low, you can't finish the job just yet. But that is an impressive amount of damage for such a slow auto attack.
Yeah, so Kled, after he gets his W, hold on.
Ooh, good engage from Mike, but he can't finish the job. TFT backed off so quickly.
There. And Hecarim actually might be able to come on top as Mike takes away the red buff and the Krugs. If Heimerdoodles gets the Krugs on top of the full top side, then he might be able to back and have a level and gold advantage, but Mike's walking back in. And 48 chromosomes healing back up, so the one good thing about Kled is he can't consistently apply the grievous wounds, and so eventually over time you can sustain through it. But Heimerdoodle is recovering now, and he could safely kind of walk to that top scuttle after he saw Mike transition gank the bot lane. He knows what's up, so no big payoffs yet.
Yeah, nothing particularly making its way clear in any of these senses from the jungler. Still waiting to see how they influence it a bit early. Definitely all eyes on them both, especially since the pressure can be so strong if they play it right. But bot lane making an aggressive and consistent push hard into turret.
Yeah, but Piero's doing a really good job of staying even on CS. He's exactly even right now, going to be a little bit ahead. So really good job being pressured in but not giving up.
Ooh, good root on Tibbs up in the top lane. Taken so low! Azuki not going to finish the auto. Wow, but Tibbs definitely has to back. He's going to make use of that TP, I'm pretty sure. Could lead into something good here. 48 chromosomes, like you said, going to get pulled out there in the mid lane, but nothing to finish off. Pool is very strong.
Heimerdoodles is actually up in CS now, so he gets some payoff there. Just really efficient pathing by him. Mike not getting quite as much, and right there, Azuki's probably going to walk back to lane. Hold on, bot.
Ooh, just barely the miss from Amsterdam, unable to hit that hook, and the response so quickly by Purpose. Piero not able to pump the damage out. Oh, mid lane, Heimerdoodle getting the knockback here on DTS, but he's already so close to turret. No one is able to fully capitalize just yet.
DTS, he's playing really aggressively, even though he knows the he knows that the Hecarim is right around there. So
good knock up in the bot lane. The Ignite's going to come through on Piero, but now Amsterdam is making the impressive front line. He has to flash out before he takes too much damage.
Piero still has the summoner, so Amsterdam, both sums used, and then B-Tank and Purpose have an advantage here for a while. We'll see if they go for the dive, but Heimerdoodles is hovering around. They may look for something, maybe a low health bait. Don't know how that goes.
Heimerdoodle, very close there, possibly going to come around the back. There is no vision put in play. The E is just used from Purpose, so the root won't come through. The damage now, Purpose going quickly down. The heal's not going to save him. Piero picks up first blood.
And that was great, just target selection. I mean, they the Kaisa had the flash available, but they just tunneled on her so well. They used the CC, made sure that she had to try and commit for that kill, and they just took her out. So if you go for the Rakan, he's slippery, he gets away. So really great target selection. Zuki top
lane. They're both so low. Tibbs just barely able to get out there. Once again, Azuki one auto away from capitalizing on early. He flashes forward. There's both flashes. The reaction times coming out hot.
Man, this is a barn burner up here. And Tibbs a little bit behind. Hold on, it's not over.
Possibly trying to go in here. The auto attack's coming through. He gets the dash away. But once again, he's taken so low, and Azuki can continue to capitalize. The CS lead slowly building.
Man, this lane is so neck and neck. They both flash at the same time. They both hit 6 at the same time, but they're both aware of it all. Just really clean play in the top lane. Very aggressive, but it's bridled. And this is actually really intelligent from Azuki. He set this up, the wave up in a position that it will bounce back to him. So a lot of CS is going to get denied and just expand that top lead even further from 15 CS. Mid lane, still just a little bit of trading. How do you think this goes as we get later in between 48 and DTS?
I will say we're really just looking for DTS to start capitalizing off the roam potential in this mid lane. He's got charge up now. He can make some moves, but he still wants to go in hard on Chromazone here. Chromazone instead opts to save the pull for after the pull to make sure that DTS can't capitalize on the full W. But I'm going to say this right now as Chromazone continues to scale up into this mid to late game. Oh, never mind. He may not have the chance. Good flash. Oh, bot lane.
Ooh, B-Tang
gets out so quickly. Oh, Heimerdoodle's right there, but the movement from both Zaya and Rakan, you can't capitalize. But to continue what I was just real quick saying, as Chromazone scales up in the mid to late game, the heals will come through consistently, and he'll be able to stick in this lane more often. Jeez, DTS playing this so aggressively. He knows the same factor is apparent, so he's trying to capitalize very early.
And so Heimerdoodles also is trying to play around the bot lane before they hit 6, but unfortunately the hook earlier went onto B-Tang, and the Rakans are going to get out of that every time, and they aren't able to land that on the Zaya. But there's just kind of CS leads all over. TFT is on top of that, obviously up 1k gold, but top lane fighting.
Ooh, possible fight breaking out here. Tibbs laying out the damage, trying to come through here. Ooh, Pop Blossom misses. Azuki's gonna get taken out. Other than that, though, we did have a mid lane fight break out, consistently going on. Dragon's Rage is 48 Chromosomes pushed out. Mike and DTS trying to capitalize here. They're not going to be able to make it in time. Chromosome's going to get out almost free. Ooh, pods coming through the teams. Let's review what just happened real quick.
Well, there's a resonating strike in the air. I think it's about to leave Lee Sin's fist. That's what it's called, right? Is Q resonating strike?
I believe so.
That's your job, right?
That is my job.
Is it resonating strike?
Off the top of my head, I do not know. I'd have to check. I just call it the Q sometimes, let me tell you.
His Q is forming in his hand right now. So really, this pause, we'll see if 48 Chromosomes is going to dodge the Q after this. But yeah, there's CS leads opening up in bot lane and in top lane for TFT, but Azuki goes down. And they're about to unpause. What do you see as kind of the it does miss.
It does miss. Okay. Gosh, way to lead us up with some hype there. It's coming through. 48 Chromosomes pulling out with the ignite. B-Tang launching forward here, trying to capitalize. He does get the auto, and 48 Chromosomes goes down, but DTS is in this backline. Charm now coming through. He's gonna get the kill on Amsterdam.
Ooh.
Ooh, First Blood Marauders capitalizing so well. Do have to bring up the kill on the bot lane on Piero, as well as the kill earlier on Heimerdoodle. First Blood taking 5 kills here within the 9 minute.
Yeah, there have just been a lot of plays, and now they're looking to focus on this Ocean Drake. And interesting thing, there have been no turret platings have gone down. We're almost at 10 minutes, or there's been 1 plate taken off of TFT's bot turret. That is it. So there's just been a lot of kills, but a lot of that has just been transitioned into getting back into lane or to CS advantages, not necessarily taking more turrets or objectives up until this first Ocean Drake. So that feels good for the next little bit of lane phase that we have. The Ocean Drake will be pretty advantageous. And as we look at where the kills are, who do you think is kind of set up better looking into the mid-game?
Well, I can tell you DTS is very strong, sitting on a 2-0 lead and almost a whole 2 waves ahead of Chromosomes. And you can already tell he's making his way around the map. He's got charge up. He wants to capitalize very early, especially since he has the pressure right now with the completed Tiamat and Phage. He's going to opt to go back to mid, but I would be watching out for him as this game progresses.
Tibbs might get dove. Azuki pushing in really hard. Heimerdoodle's walking back up, and he has the ultimate available. Azuki eating a little bit of poke, though.
We do see the pings coming through here. Mike is very close by. DTS as well, making the run up. He has charge up and available. Yeah, there it comes through. Maybe looking to come through. He's going to go down on Heimerdoodle. He's trying to go. He dashes forward. He's not going to be able to make the pull. The Unstoppable comes through. Pop Blossom to do some damage and stuns. Ooh, no one's going to be able to fully capitalize on that. But 48 and Mike in this backside. Looking to see this back's going to go through.
Oh, bot lane.
Ooh, bot lane. Depth charge now. Good root on B-Tank, but not before he gets the charge. Knock up on Piero. He dashes shield, but it's not going to be enough. His purpose finishes the job. Now they turn to see if they can pull off Amsterdam the slow. He's so tanky. Good stopwatch as he's under. Ooh, turn your attention to the top lane. The chase for Azuki ensues. Mike and DTS laying out the damage in the Ignite. Resonating strike coming through from Mike.
So did we confirm it is resonating strike?
I did
confirm
during the break. It is resonating.
That's what I was most worried about that whole time is, more fighting
Ooh,
bot.
That's what I'm worried about. Heimerdoodle pushing purpose into turret here for the shutdown.
There's just blood all over the map right now. And finally, they're starting to convert a lot of these turret platings they are taking off. So 3 plates go down in top lane, and then an additional one, or it's actually bottom lane is still at 4, but First Blood Marauders all over the map making plays. And in the bot lane, what we saw was the commitment. So after the Xayah Rakan do hit 6, the priority has to switch from the Xayah to the Rakan. And so we saw the depth charge go down on Rakan, but he's just so slippery. He gets away, he jumps out, he's so many dashes and flashes and everything in between that they can't secure the kill.
Support battle in the river.
Yeah, this is gonna be super
gonna
impactful.
lead to something now. Other than that, definitely looking to see here. No one's quite making the plays just yet. We do know First Blood has a bit of the advantage currently. Other than that, we do see DTS and Tibbs making their way both mid lane, possibly looking to ensue a fight on here. Ooh, Purpose taking a big chunk of damage. The charm coming through from B-Tang now, getting both Piero. Amsterdam's gonna go down as a result. The knockup misses, but Resonating Strike comes through. Piero dashes back to get the shield. He's dealing the damage. Mike is gonna go down for an aggressive dive.
And Mike's flash just now came up. I think he might have thought that it was already up. So could have been a small miscalculation on either damage or timers. Either way, ended up looking a little bit silly. Piero played that well to stay alive and prevent the dive. And now he's stranded.
Ooh, he is stranded under this turret. The root doesn't come through, but Purpose's damage does.
There is just way too much to talk about at any given moment.
Look at Amsterdam, gonna get the root under turret, the damage bring down with Featherstorm. He's gonna try to get away Purpose. Oh, almost, but now the backline, 48 chromosomes is here. Hemoplague comes down, but he doesn't need it to finish the job. Now he's looking to possibly capitalize. Oh, he turns to the wave instead. He's not willing to chase the slippery B-Tang, but good teleport from chromosomes.
And B-Tang is still sitting here. He might be trying to bait something or just stop backs. This Ocean Drake is coming up here in less than 15 seconds, and Mike secures the Rift Arrow and then is gonna be able to rotate down to pressure this Ocean Drake, the second Ocean, which can just really give them a lot of poke and siege potential. As they kind of sit back with the Corki and just throw bombs in, they can stay forever. Hold on.
Ooh, charge coming through on the backside here. DTS and B-Tang coming in hot. They try to go on Amsterdam, but Charm, he's gonna go down. Now they turn attention to Piero. The knockup from B-Tang isn't gonna hit, but the turret goes down so quickly. It's a full engage onto Piero as we see Mike pick up the kill.
And he already dropped the Rift Arrow. He knew he knew exactly how that fight was going to go. He was already channeling that way beforehand. And so now we'll see if they turn. Heimerdoodles is kind of sniffing this out, getting vision control, but making sure that the mid turret stays up, and he just goes back as everyone disappears out of vision. And they decide not to take the Ocean Drake just yet. And we'll see if Azuki can at least get the top turret in an answer. That could be a consolation prize.
Purpose coming through here to clear the wave out. Azuki in a position where might get collapsed on. We see Tibbs already making his way up. He's tearing the backside. Azuki gonna try to run it back into the top side. Purpose dealing damage. The root comes through. Azuki now trying to get away. Tibbs comes forward with the dash. The auto attacks are burning down. It's gonna be Purpose picking up the easy kill on Azuki. Oh, but wait and watch here. Heimjul making a look and escape. Amsterdam just barely not gonna get caught out as we see First Blood pick up Ocean Drake.
I feel like Mike is just doing his own thing. Mike is he's up there, he's taking the Herald, he's down there, he's dropping the Herald, he goes, he takes the Ocean Drake. He's just playing the objective game, kind of letting the rest of his team pressure. And now he's fighting.
Ooh, the only objective he's got on his mind is Piero comes through the Resurrect Strike with the Dragon's Rage, but the dash comes through from Piero, the shield. There's a battle between the two. Piero's gonna pick up the kill in the end. Mike not able to get the melee strikes in.
And hold on, B-Tang.
B-Tang, possibly gonna get caught out here. We see Hecarim come in, the flash gonna have to be burned now. Ooh, 48 chromosomes, trying to deal some damage to DTS, but DTS is very strong here with all the defense.
Yeah, pretty tanky already. I mean, he just gets the Titanic Hydra and the first part of that Black Cleaver, and it's gonna be pretty tough to kill already. Just a lot of base stats behind Kled, and I wouldn't be too surprised to just see him not die for a very long time.
You see Purpose in the mid lane? Purpose flexing a little bit, going for the taunt play here.
Anson, he's been feeling himself. I mean, when they were collapsing on Azuki up in the top lane, sometimes you gotta do it, and he feels like he's gotta do it. So when you're 5-3, I mean that's
it's good enough. It's fair enough.
Good enough. You know, Azuki.
Ooh, Azuki, possible engage coming through from DTS. The root's gonna come down, but not before he gets the pull back. Coming through with a charge. Ignite is gonna go down, down, down. As DTS picks another kill to bring himself up to 4-0.
So many people believe that charge can be a roaming tool or a team fight tool. DTS like, no, get that out of here. It's a dueling tool. This is charges for dueling and making sure you secure kills.
Ooh, Mike on top of Amsterdam here, possibly looking to go in. Heimerdoodle and Piero, we see Depth Charge gonna come up, get the knockup. Mike gets burned to a crisp as we see Piero pick up that kill.
Yeah, Mike wishing that he had his flash up there, but even then, I think the CC is just too much with the Nautilus, the Depth Charge. But Tibbs getting work done in the bot lane, and DTS up top, just not even shying away until there are two members up there, so feeling like he can 1v1 anybody on the map. So much pressure, hold on.
Ooh, B-Tang going deep in this backline, gonna get the charm on Amsterdam, but not before looking like Piero's gonna pick up an easy kill. Amsterdam's Ignite not gonna come through. We do see Feather Pop come through as the good root goes on Piero, but he packs the passive, and he's able to pick up a double kill.
And Piero did all that holding the flash, so that ultimately, or well, he uses the flash at the end there to dodge out of the Corki damage, but just really great play by him. So pretty much the dive comes in from B-Tang. He commits down. They don't see the Hecarim coming in from the top side, and so it's a bit of an overcommit on the dive. Xayah gets zoned off. B-Tang dies super quickly, and so then it ends up just being Piero finishing up the kill on purpose. So really well played, knowing the damage, not using the flash, but I mean purpose also played it really well too, flashing back to make sure that the pullback gets the root. And now we're seeing First Blood Marauders push that vision a little bit deeper into the top side as this Baron is spawning. So how does TFT respond to this, do you think, as they're just really having trouble?
I will tell you, TFT does have quite a few options to play around here. You have a lot of strength on Piero, as we've been seeing in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Azuki's not making quite the plays that he needs to, but he does have the roots and all the CC available to play into this well. But I gotta tell you, we're seeing a strong engage posse coming in through here. Tibbs gonna be hit by the depth charge, but not before DTS makes his way through with charge. B-Tang coming through with the charm to take out Amsterdam now. 48 chromosomes and Azuki late to the plays here. That's going to be 1 kill for the side of First Blood, but I'm curious to see if there's going to be any sort of response.
Heimerdoodle's ultimate is coming up in a little bit here, so they might have options. All of the other teamfight tools are available for them, so they have all 4 of their ultimates up. This could be a close fight if they pick it wisely.
Ooh, they definitely want to pick it. Gonna use the penetration from the Baron buff. They're making their way through. We see the Pop Blossom and Hecarim. A big chunk of damage. TTS is going to take up here in the back line, but not before we see a double kill on the side of TFT. Ooh, Tibbs is launching back here to pick off Azuki, but not before we see an epic play from Heimerdoodle. But DTS is back in it. Good stopwatch from Chromosome to try to save himself. Ooh, DTS doesn't want to back off just yet, but he just has to. That's going to be a wonderful set of plays from TFT as they stop the Baron.
And TFT trades 2 of their members for 3 of First Blood. And this is actually, we see a pretty sectioned off fight. So initially Xayah is forced to use the ultimate to avoid the damage from the Hecarim ult, but then gets caught in the Pop Blossom. So great Pop Blossom. Then Lee Sin is chased down, and there's a kind of 1v1 down there between Azuki and Tibbs. And then in the top side, the Kled is able to remount and just survives through it, so there's a lot of cooldowns exchanged, but ultimately TFT has to be feeling pretty good about how that fight played out, and the Ocean Drake going down to First Blood Marauders now.
Yeah, they're able to pick that one up real quick, coming out blazing after that series of deaths. I'm surprised TFT didn't try to set that up better, but of course a lot of their ultimates are down before that. You don't have Heimer or Azuki ready to come in.
And I think that it's okay to give up the Ocean Drake at this point in the game. 22 minutes, what's a third Ocean on top of 2 already? I don't think either team was too crazy about getting the third Ocean, but First Blood Marauders definitely wants to clear that out, get closer to the Elder Drake as quickly as possible, because as they keep stacking these elementals, that could be another win condition for them.
Look at First Blood Marauders, all sitting in the pixel. They know there's no ward there, but I'm just waiting. When are they going to capitalize? Oh, Piero cuts them out. He sees that they've got a plan waiting. Charge is going to come through, though. DTS looking to capitalize. He misses it, goes for the wrong Azuki. Nico going to get caught out possibly here. Good knock up of Pop Blossom now coming through. Heimerdoodle in the backline with the damage from Piero to finish the job. He dashes forward. He's trying to pick up a kill on DTS. DTS doing the damage. Oh, he's able to remount. He gets out of there clean, but not before First Blood Marauders takes a strong hit as 2 of their members go down.
Hold on, Mike!
Mike gets the resonating strike and is able to get a wonderful shutdown on Heimerdoodle as a response.
And that would have been a 2-for-1, but then Heimerdoodle gets caught by the resonating strike, and it ends up being a 2-for-2. But really, I think the key to that play was Azuki using the clone to absorb the charge. That was just an incredible play. Very well played by him. And there's a TP coming in for the Baron here, so they're trying to rush it down.
I don't know if TFT has it up just yet. We're going to see the teleport come through from Azuki. Oh, they want to respond, but they're just not in the right spot. Good play from Tibbs and Purpose to make short work of that Baron when they knew they had the pressure to capitalize.
And all credit there goes to Mike of catching out Heimerdoodles on the Wolves, punishing him, getting the kill, and then rotating to that Drake. They were very low health after the fight, but Three Oceans, you basically all have Warmogs, and so you just walk over to the Baron. You're all full health again, and you can take it very quickly with the Corki, with the Zaya. It just goes down, and you know that Heimerdoodles won't be able to answer, and the TP. When they already have the vision established, you know it's not going to be too much of a threat. So First Blood Marauders, really smart play there. And they've just been great back and forth here. And do you think that there's hope for TFT? They showed a spark of life there a little bit.
I do think TFT definitely has a chance to come back into us. This Baron for the next 5 minutes is definitely going to be something they have to play around. A lot of these turrets possibly going to go down, especially since DTS are already showing the prowess here in the top side. I'm curious to see how they're going to play around it. If they're able to save through and survive out and make great plays like they just did in the mid lane, I definitely think TFT has a chance to come into us, especially since you have such strong carries coming online, such as Chromozones and Piero. Ooh, DTS getting a good chunk of damage though on this top side against Chromozones.
TFT has to look for a pick, 100-0, or for a burst fight. They cannot poke.
Ooh, Heimerdoodle
trade.
Doesn't want to go in on DTS just yet. This mid lane turret going to be taken down as a result.
And the siege is real. Oh!
Depth charge coming through onto Purpose. He dodges it with Feather. B-Tang not going to hit the knockup or the charm. All these ultimates not quite making the plays here, but TFT comes out on bottom as Tibbs is going to be taking this turret with the distraction on the play. Ooh, possible chase on Zuki. Comes further with the flash. He's able to pick up the kill, but the collapse is so strong. Heimerdoodle is going to pick it up before B-Tang gets a wonderful knockup on Amsterdam. Ooh, we see Hemo play coming through B-Tang. Ooh, but Chromozone's going to be taken down so quickly. Good route, though, from Amsterdam to stop DTS's assault. Ooh, but not before Inhib is going to be taken down. Heimerdoodle wants this, but he can't go in just yet. Mike barely missing Resonating Strike on Piero. It definitely looks like First Blood Mirage was able to stave it out and make a play. Mike, so aggressive on the Lee Sin.
Oh, yeah, he's playing extremely far forward, just very comfortable with where he's at right now, and he's going to rotate, probably take that Cloud Drake before TFT is able to contest it. So that'll go down very quickly, and they do get the inhibitor out of it. Not sure if they're going to be able to get much more, as Tibbs is just respawning now, and they might not even go for the Cloud Drake. I think they might reset for it. But TFT not exactly in a position to respond. So now they're just kind of playing catch-up, trying to catch waves. Just like last game, though, there's only one inhibitor down. So there's still hope they can wave clear that one and look for a fight. So the fight's likely going to have to be, like I said, very quick, very bursty, get a pick, or go all in. TFT cannot take chip damage. They cannot try and poke here and there. Ooh. It's got to be all or nothing.
DTS making his move around the blue side. He sees the bat coming through from Heimerdoodle. Ooh, he has to use the ultimate to get away, sacrificing a supreme engage tool. Ooh, that may be perfect for First Blood to capitalize on.
Yeah, they got a little window here, and no Baron buff on them at the moment, but knowing the Hecarim ultimate is not available, all they have to worry about is the depth charge. In terms of engage, and also the potentially
Pop Blossom, yeah.
The Pop Blossom, yep, that coming through. But those are a little bit more telegraphed than.
Ooh,
they're sieging.
Yeah, they're sieging hard without Baron buff. They still do a ton of damage to this turret. Oh, DTS gets a good pick on that distraction there. Ooh, Heimerdoodle and him just fighting it out. He doesn't have ultimate to escape this time. He can't take a supreme trade.
And as soon as First Blood Marauders get another wave, they can take down this mid turret. It's going to go down real quick, and all inhibitors are open.
Ooh, Amsterdam, he's able to get
the back line here. Purpose comes through with an amazing feather, but not before we see a huge amount of damage come through. Ooh, First Blood is turning it around. Purpose doing so much to chunk out here. DTS in this back line taking out Heimer too. Actually, I spoke too soon. Heimer was able to make a short escape, but it may not be enough for members of TFT down. Playing around Purpose too strong before he came through with Feather. Oh, Mike looking to push him out here. They've got 15 seconds till anyone important comes through. Mike's gonna use the stopwatch to get out there. Not before B-Tank comes through with the knockup resonating strike. Good shield coming through from Sterik's Gage. B-Tank pulls him back with the charm, but not before Mike goes down. Now it's up to Amsterdam coming through with Azuki. He gets the double root, but it's not gonna be enough. First Blood Marauders takes game 2 in an exciting Nexus raid.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, DTS was diving all the way at the Nexus turrets, and so they were feeling very confident at the end of the game there, and it ended up just being DTS able to take over. I mean, nobody could answer him in the side lane, and it's a little bit of a stumble. I think that the First Blood Marauders, they just played it very well. And I think a large portion of that was just due to the lane swap, that they were able to catch Team Fish Taco off guard, put weird laners in there, and it ended up working for them. And so they were just showing really strong mastery of the drafting phase, and they come out with an edge, and then they execute on that edge. Not exactly how you would expect, but they just play to their comp very well, and they just win straight up in a pretty quick game, 29.5 minutes.
And definitely a series of very quick games coming from First Blood Marauders, capitalizing on a lot of the drafting phase to get most of their strength. But I gotta ask, Karos, who do you think was the absolute supreme beast here on First Blood Marauders? Who was the true influence of these games?
Well, I think that the word that you use there, beast, is perfect to describe how Tibbs played, especially in Game 1. I think Game 2, maybe not as strong. He still was impactful with his rotations and in team fights, putting out lots of damage. But in Game 1, you just cannot overlook what he did on that Gnar. He was popping off in team fights. He was positioning really well. He knew his rage bar to a T. And I think we are getting word that we are going to be able to pull Tibbs in for a quick interview as the MVP of this series.
All right.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Tibbs. How you doing? Let me be the first to obviously congratulate you on such an impressive victory, but you have taken MVP for the series tonight.
That's great to hear.
So to start it off, first and foremost, definitely showing impressive play in Game 1. What was it like with the planning on the Gnar? There's so much you have to, think about when you're on it. You have to build the rage. You have to plan for with the TP. Was it more of a you thing, or did your team almost keep track of that for you, or were you just there on the fire to just go into it every single time?
I think it was definitely like a team thing. I was definitely good at keeping track of my rage and communicating that to the team, and we definitely played the fights around my Gnar rage. So I think it was just a little bit of both. Most of the team, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's great communication, great team play, then also great individual mastery of the champion. And then you obviously threw everybody for a loop in Game 2 with the lane swap. What was the green light for you guys of when you decided to pick up those solo laners as you kind of save those picks for last? What was the green light, or how'd you make that decision?
So pretty much what we decided is the Kled Vladimir matchup is very Kled favored, and so we really wanted the Kled to go mid. And so that would mean the Corki had to go a different lane. And I've actually played a lot of Corki myself, so we decided that Corki going top was the best play for us to do.
Well, it definitely worked out for y'all. You allowed your mid laner DTS to get very ahead on the Kled eventually, but I do think a lot of that Vex play coming from you as a whole and just being able to be a flexible player made it for Game 2 in that way.
Yeah, I do definitely agree.
Other than that, though, I will have to confirm we're a little bit behind on the standings for ABL right now, but I'm pretty sure after tonight, First Blood Marauders has possibly come through with a secured bye for playoffs. So how does it feel for your team to be that ahead right now?
It feels great.
Well, I mean, I guess it does. But is there anything you're thinking about here? Is there a team you're watching out for? Is Recon 5 in your head? Is Dynasty still that unbeatable almost beast that y'all will have to watch out for? Is First Blood Marauders going to take it all? Is that the case?
I definitely do think we have a good chance to take it all, but I think Dynasty is also a really strong team that we have to be watching out for. They did 2-0 us last time we faced, but I think next time we can probably pull off a win.
Ooh. You heard it here first, folks. He does not think Dynasty is going to be able to pull a quick one under him this time. Karios, anything to say?
No, I'm kind of excited to see how First Blood Marauders, I mean, just very dominant in this series and how they can translate through the rest of the regular season into playoffs. If there are any more spicy picks, so I'm sure that all the viewers will look forward to seeing them move on into the playoffs and how they come out guns a-blazing again, just with a very aggressive play style of we're gonna come and we're gonna try and kill you real quick.
Well, I want to thank you, First Blood. Tibbs, do you have any last shout-outs to give just before we end this interview?
Shout out to my 80 carry. He hasn't been getting a lot of credit, but I think he's been doing very, very well in these games. Yeah, he's made a lot of improvement.
All right, Purpose getting a little shout-out there. Thank you, Tibbs. Congrats on a wonderful 2-0 series. But with that, this series is coming to an end real quickly here. We're going to be having Dynasty Esports versus White Lotus Esports, the top team in the league versus number 4. It's definitely going to be a game y'all will have to watch out for. I will have to say a sad remark here, though. Karos, thank you for joining us here on the Caster Desk for Game 1. We'll be seeing you off here in a little bit, but is there anything left you have to say before you make your way out?
Go White Lotus.
Whoa!
That's all I got to say. Love my boys, and yeah, excited to watch that series. Been a pleasure casting. Congratulations to First Blood Marauders, and yeah, we will see you all around.
Now we're going to be taking a short break here. One little final announcement. Want to give a thank you to one follower coming through here on ABL1, Combusting Rainbows. Thank you for making that wonderful follow here during, I believe, Game 1. Sorry it took so long to get back to you. But other than that, we're going to be taking a short break as we get back to you with an exciting series between White Lotus and Dynasty Esports. So stay tuned.